What up, y'all? Welcome back once again to your boy's channel. You already know who it is, back with a brand new video, and I don't have time to do the usual setup, so I'm gonna just go ahead and do this video right now to get it out the way. But apparently, we are getting Paul Walker's Brian O'Connor back in the last Fast and the Furious movie, Fast and the Furious 11 Part 2. And it's supposed to go back to its racing roots, which absolutely make zero sense, okay? I enjoyed the last film. I thought it was good. I really did. I really did. I enjoyed the last film. I didn't like 9. I didn't like 8. If you really want to be honest, I feel like the movie should have ended at Fast and the Furious 7 after Paul Walker passed. But they kept the franchise going and completely ran it into the ground. But I like the Fast and the Furious 10. I like the idea that the team was all broken up, that they had to rely on whatever they had instead of relying on each other to, try and stop the big bad. And I don't know, with this Fast and the Furious Part 2, does that mean that they're going to continue with the story from the first one? It would make sense. But it says they're going back to racing roots. So are they gonna pretend like what happened in the last movie didn't happen and then do something completely different to end the movie? Which makes zero sense, because if they were going to continue on with a racing roots, they should have did it after Fast and the Furious 3. But they went in a different direction and completely changed the franchise around. So here we are with part 2 of Fast and the Furious 11, which in my honest opinion, this year, 2025, should be the year that that movie came out, not supposedly in 2027, 4 years after the last one. Because I have not heard one whisper, one pin drop from anybody about wanting to see this movie. Nobody. Nobody has said they want to see Fast and Furious 11 Part 2. Nobody has hollered about it. If there's been any news that I've seen people talk about on social media, it's the fact that they think that the movies should end. And I honestly think they should. As much as I want to see this Part 2, if it continued the story from the last film, I don't want to see that they're going to try and, rewrite the story and go back to racing, which they should have did, like I said, at the end of Fast and Furious 3, and kept the story going. But it makes zero sense. And on the topic of Paul Walker, no. His character died at the end. He, of course, passed away in life, but he had a good send-off at the end of Fast and Furious 7. That's what his movie should have ended at. I do not want to see him come back. I know that there's been whispers over the years of him possibly coming back ever since Fast and Furious 7, but I do not think they should mess it up by bringing this character back in this new movie. Just let him stay gone. Don't do this movie at all, because it's like no one's asking for it. It might do some good at the box office, but really there's not been one pin drop from anybody that has said, hey, we want a Fast and the Furious 11 Part 2 to finish off the story. No one's asking for it. The only thing you've heard and seen people say, if and when they talked about it, is that the movies should end. And that's exactly what I think they should do. So, y'all post your comments down below. Let me know what y'all think. Do you think it's a good idea they bring Paul Walker back? Do you think the movie should drop another one again? This is 4 years after the last film, which will be 2027 by the time this movie releases. I've seen some behind-the-scenes photos. It looks like they were shooting, but I wasn't 100% sure. I've seen, Vin Diesel with the car. Who knows? It might just be some promotional stuff. But quite honestly, I just think the franchise should die. As much as I want to see the Fast and Furious Part 2 to see how they would end this whole storyline if they decide to go that route, I just think it's too little too late. And nobody really interested. Nobody really cares. Post your comments down below. Let me know what y'all think. I'll catch you on the next video. Peace. We out.